the surge of oil price around the world regarding the US and Iran trade war. So um, this impacts many countries, creating a domino effects. So what is this domino effect and how do I see it? Well, domino effects, in my sense would be there's cost of inflation, the price surge, we can see with the oil, and also the currency depreciation. All of this happened really, really fast, and we could see that it could go much, much beyond what we expected, right? So, firstly, with the oil price getting higher, right now we're seeing around 110 dollar, but recently it dropped to 97, I believe. So this would create a lot of tension with countries, right? We can see price of oil price with Cambodia, with the US, and just globally, right? There's no country that don't affected by this situation. So firstly, with the oil price going up, we can see that many countries creating the what we say contraction monetary policy, meaning that they tightening um, to stop the interest rate to going higher, right? We can see from the US, from Australia, all of the other countries. Now, what do these impacts for each countries, right? Drivers, they don't like it. Those that use oil, vehicle, they start to switch to EVs, and this would be like the next wave of what we might see, right? It's also a speeding process for EV. Remember, EV boom, a while now, and China have been a great face of it, right? But because of, the ongoing supplier challenges with the low price, they keep going lower and lower. Many profits not actually going to the business a lot, right? You can see that. And this wave, right, because of the oil price going higher, this would promote EVs, so China would have an upper hand. Now, with the oil price going around, many countries also have their diversification, right, on how they would um, change or buy alternative things other than oil. They're not gonna buy like petroleum. No, I'm not saying that, but they are doing something. Example, in China, because of they're creating more reserves so that they have more oil. In the US, they start to have a strategy on decreasing the export of oil. Same thing with India as well. With Cambodia, we can see that there's a drop of import tax, right, from 10 to 4%. So that is really great. It will help a lot of people during this crisis. And I would say that the next phase, which is the EV phase, it could bring a lot of changes to how we spend our money, how we control the budget, all of those stuff. Now, with China, even though they have a lot of reserve, there's still some uncertainty, and they moving to Russia and Asia country as a central hub of importing the oil. Remember that Asia import around 60% of oil from the Middle East. So the Strait of Hormuz is really important for Asia as well, right? US trying to get it. Maybe they want to control the price strategy and the supply with the Asia, right? Hormuz is like the Asia um, like lifeline. So without it, Asia would face much consequences along the way, right? With Myanmar, with Laos, right now they having challenges, right? Myanmar, they are promoting EVs, the use of EVs, which mean that the people, the citizen, can use the EV daily, right, without switching the nameplate. So that is a good thing. And um, example, if just maybe the late April, right, everything go back to normal, which is really not what I expected. But example, then I think that EV is still going to be a start, you know, even if the war's going to end, right? Because this create like a mindset for people that the war might, happen again or this and that. So maybe they start to prioritize with EVs. Okay, that is just what I think. Um, it might or might not happen. With the Europe, now Europe is really, I would say, in a 50-50 position. What I mean is that they don't really take side right now, as I see it. With the oil import, the alternative that they have is the sustainable energy like wind, solar, all of those stuff. And it's a good way, it's one way to put at it. In the US, in China, they focus on bargaining power, right? With the other countries. For Asia countries, they focus on the policies, like the small policies. Um, Example, the government making incentive for the tax, they creating reserve, all those stuff. So they focus on their internal side because they have less bargaining power than the global economies, right? Um, the US unemployment rate have been going higher and higher. This create into a stagnation, which mean that the countries start to grow in a decreasing rate. So it's not that great, right? What we can see from Cambodia is that the oil is rising, right? Is doubling. So um, same thing with the natural gas that we're using, and the government is now trying to um, help seeking out the incentive, with the tax, right? That's great. With all these things going around, we start to see maybe the sales of EVs in China going up, um, and the price as well. Now, with a lot of demand going higher, we hope to see maybe the price of the EV going higher too, right? And this again maybe create another wave of um, the inflation with the EVs. The US right now, the CPI is 0.9% month to month. Um, is it a lot? I would say is not that much, but to a certain point, much higher than its past years. So we have to look out for that as well. Is it the right time to buy stock companies and invest in stocks? Commodity, I'm not going to talk about it because it is volatile, which means that it could go up and down really fast. And the trend it okay, look, for the silver and the gold, is not because of the demand, right? I believe it's because of the um, supply side with the oil, right? So when the wars happen, the supply of the oil get cut down, right? And this is not because of the demand, people want more and more. So the price is because of the supply. And this would also reflect with the silver as well, right? I believe it's correlate to one another. I'm not seeing the China making a big move yet. Recently, they announced an opposing leader of Taiwan, right, to Trump, and we start to see how this will goes, right? The news is still um around inflation, right? But there are other small activities or impacts going around that we can see. So, the domino effect is just countries impacted by this rise of oil, inflation, less reserve, and they try to maybe negotiate, diversify its route, other than the Strait of Hormuz, maybe to its neighboring country, and the U.S., China, India, they try to negotiate with the big countries, right? Because they have more bargaining power. And the EV is just creating like a new wave that we can see, and hopefully we can see more and more people buying EVs than using the oil car because it's impacting many people's life. Yeah, thank you.